Good day, everyone. This is Patrick from EasyFX Code Trading System, and it's Saturday, the 18th of June, 2022. And this is the weekly technical analysis for the Euro, the cable, and the Aussie dollar for the fourth week of June. And let's begin with the Euro, but just glancing through all the three major pairs here, you look across all, it looks like they all have similar structure after falling the week before from the US CPI data, and then climbing back up over the midweek before falling back down on the Friday yesterday. Let's take a look at the Euro. And after the higher than expected US CPI figure the previous Friday, the start of the week was weak as well for the Euro. It fell from the key 105 round figure down at this 105 here and fell to hit the 104, the next round figure, before consolidating and then eventually managed to climb back up to hit the 106 round figure. So main range for last week was between these two round figures of a range of about 200 pips here, before falling back down into the center of the range of 105 again by Friday. So then, as expected, you'll see on the weekly time frame that it closed as almost a doji, and right near the 105. So after the bearish fall the previous week, so the next week, it could possibly resume bearish again, and but more likely it could just consolidate within the 104 and the 106 for the week. So unless there's some fresh trigger to help it to push it back up above the 106. Otherwise, it's going to be constrained within that range. And likewise, it needs to have some bearish news to break it below the 104. Okay. And this is even after last week. There was the Federal Reserve, where they did raise interest rate, and with a surprise higher quantum as well of 75 basis points instead of 50. And that was Wednesday afternoon in the US. And initially US dollar went up, but then it quickly fell back. So this allowed the Euro and all the other major pairs to recover, and taking advantage to climb back up over the next couple of days before pulling back on the Friday. But this week there is some exposure again on the US side, with the Fed Chair Powell having his testimony over a couple of days. So there is some exposure there to more volatility. And it's only minor news for the Eurozone. All right, so now this 105 is still a key support area, although it's looking like there's higher highs over the last 3 days, and it could attempt to climb up higher as well, but below that, that's definitely a key support area at around the 103.50 from previous month. Right above, there's still this significant resistance zone. And we'll keep this higher resistance up here for now. Okay, so we'll see what the US dollar price action is going to be for next week, but let's also take a look at the US dollar index to see what happened after the Federal Reserve announcement. So here's the US dollar index, the DXY, and right from the start of the week, it had already gapped up after the strong CPI figure, gap up higher and cleared the 105 for a day until the Wednesday's FOMC decision, where it did attempt to climb higher, but it was quickly rejected and pushed back down, and attempted to recover on the Thursday, but still was rejected back down almost to the support zone at the 50-fib before recovering on the Friday. So it did recover back up to close to the open of the week at the 200-fib here. So it should have closed slightly bullish for the week. And yeah, just a small spinning top or almost a doji here. So it could be a pause, just like the euro. Could be a pause or could signal just consolidation. So unless there's some new news from the Fed chair's testimony on Wednesday and Thursday, it's unlikely that it's going to break out higher to hit the 106 for now. Otherwise, it's going to be unusual if it did fall through the support or the low of last week. So it may remain within the range of the wicks for last week. So the 105 is still a major resistance. And the 50-fib retracement, we could also move this fib now to the recent retracement, and it did find support at the 50-fib retracement. So that's where the support is going to be. And it could move this key support zone now to 102 as the daily 55 rises into that area. And right above, we'll have the 106 as resistance. May take a while if it does break out higher to get up even to the next fib extension. But for now, I think looks like it's probably time for consolidation and to absorb all the news from last week, last couple of weeks. All right. So yes, from the US side, the major news was just be the Fed Chair Powell's testimony, and we'll see if there's anything new that he's going to discuss or announce. All right, let's move back to the other major pairs. Let's move on to the cable. And similarly to the euro, it did fall right from the start of the week after the previous Friday's CPI figure. There was this initial drop, and it went deeper than the euro this time with 2 strong bearish days at the start of the week into the support zone to hit the 120 round figure, dip slightly lower past the 138 FIB extension, and it did bounce back on Wednesday and Friday and Thursday. That was from the FOMC. And then last Thursday was the Bank of England's turn to announce their rate increase, and they did increase as expected by 1/4 percentage point. And after dipping lower, it did manage to continue climbing up to hit the 124 round figure for pulling back on the Friday and back into the 122 round figure area. So last week's range was quite wide from the 120, in fact, from below the 120 into 124, so more than a 400 pip range before settling back into the center of the range. Right, and this week there's quite a number of news from the UK, but there's also exposure from the Fed Chair's testimony, as with all the other major pairs. But watch out for CPI and retail sales figures for the UK as well. So on the weekly time frame, it closed slightly lower than the start of the week, so it was not a spinning top or doji, and it did have a longer lower wick. So there could be still some volatility, some bearish momentum to perhaps push the cable down a bit more. It's difficult for now to see it climb back up above the 124. So, but it does have quite a wide range to trade on. Okay, so this is still resistance zone, and this is still the support zone with the key support down here. Major resistance is still there. All right. We could also change and move this FIB to the current swing move down, and it did climb back up to the 62 FIB retracement. Right next to the 124. So we can adjust this slightly. All right, let's move on to the Aussie dollar. And this week, there's also the release of their monetary policy meeting minutes on Tuesday. And similar to the euro and the cable, it did continue lower right from the start of the week, falling past the key round figure of 70 and just past the 69 figure into the 162 fib extension before recovering to climb back up above 70, but then on Friday it did fall back. It did fall back all the way back down to 69. So we could move this support into 69 now. There is still a key support below that. That's a key one at 68. It's got to drop below the 162 fib extension, but at the moment it's holding as a key support. And 71 is still next range for resistance, and while above that is the strong support at this swing low. All right, so take a quick look on the weekly, and it is more bearish than the other pairs, closing lower for the week, and no spinning tops, so it's still struggling to find some foothold, but for now there's still support at the 162 fib. It needs to break above the 70 round figure again, otherwise it's going to consolidate this range. Okay. All right, so do check out my other videos on spot gold and dollar yen. Have a safe week and a good trading week, and cheers for now.